So, first up, we have our pink Protoss. Lovely colours there. He won in Game 1, not the best engagements, but nonetheless he pushed through with more Colossus. His name is Fnatic Raid Call Harstem.
Beautiful. His opponent is going to be the caster with a very funny accent. Nevertheless, well loved by the community. Down a game. This is Daybreak. This is RotterdaM. And this is the Protoss.
Yep, just to confirm for those in chat, well, not to confirm, but to answer a question we just received, which is Pewee asks why he doesn't see why high-level players would race switch for a show match mid-series. The answer is because it's really funny. You and I remember Grubby.
Yeah, we did. Like, let us tell you the story. During the poker strategy match between Grubby and Zoke, they decided to go with a TVT in their second game on a freaking Ohana out of all maps. And we all know how TVT can get on Ohana. It was nearly an hour-long game, but it was so fun. Then they played some more PvP, and then they decided to go ZVZ in the final game, in the 10th game of the series. So it is not all that uncommon, and they were both professionals. And I have to say that Zoke's Terran and Zerg as an off-race is way better than Grubby's Terran and Zerg.
Which was very upsetting for us. So actually, his Protoss was better than Grubby's as well. But Grubby was suffering from jet lag. Make excuses for my favourite player.
Oh, that is true. He just came back from America, from a tournament. So, yeah, that was understandable. We see RotterdaM taking a very quick second gas as well as Harstem, although his gas is a little bit later. Core finishing up, and again, RotterdaM going with a faster gate than his opponent, most probably a 12 gate. And Harstem just opting to go with a very standard 13 gate if you want to go, for a tech build or for a macro game, a little bit of a longer game. And RotterdaM is just being very annoying with this probe, not wanting any proxy pylons to go down. And considering he hasn't scouted his opponent yet, he's not entirely sure if this would be a cannon rush or anything else, so just keeping that probe on his probe, and maybe he just wants to kill it with the Stalker, who knows?
Yep, I mean, Daybreak is actually one of the maps that's really good for kind of, the Proxy 2 gate is something you can see sometimes. Even at this level, when a player feels like he's ahead, when Harstem's already one game ahead, you start to feel like, well, maybe I can just roll him in a quick second game, and then you've got a massive advantage, so it really does behoove RotterdaM to stay further ahead.
Wait a minute. We have the most retarded openings that can ever happen because both of these players are just going for a Stargate. I mean, if one Protoss goes for a Stargate, it's fine. It's totally fine. When both Protosses go for a Stargate, it's freaking humiliating, man.
Well, we've seen this before as well. The question is, there are two questions you have to ask in Stargate versus Stargate. The first one is, of course, who gets the most Phoenixes? And the second one is, who upgrades the Phoenix range first? Because if one player does and the other doesn't, the player that doesn't is never going to kill another Phoenix again in the entire game.
Yeah, and, depending on when actually those two Phoenixes, or two groups of Phoenixes meet, this is going to be interesting because Harstem is a little bit ahead, but only just by a tiny bit, by 10 seconds ahead on the Phoenix production. Both players have the same number of chrono boosts exactly. If they keep chrono boosting their Stargates, they are going to have exactly the same number of Phoenixes, and the first one of Harstem is coming in, and if he... he can get caught off, and only one Phoenix versus two, you know how that will end.
Not very well. Of course, Harstem wants to expand behind this. He finally transitioned his gateways to warp gates. I was wondering how long it was going to take him to remember to hit that key. But nonetheless, they transition now. So things are going to kind of back off a little bit. Harstem wants that expansion up, and he's going to start to use his Phoenixes a bit more defensively now, one would imagine.
And he has seen the Stargate of RotterdaM, so he knows that he has to keep producing Phoenixes and keep current boosting them out, because if you fall behind in the air units in this stage of the game, then that's going to cost you a lot. And RotterdaM looks like he doesn't want to be expanding. He wants to punish his opponent hard, so he's going for a 3-gate attack. Harstem is getting a forge so that his mineral lines are safe and he can use the Phoenixes for something else, for example, fighting.
So here we go. RotterdaM is going to come into this expansion now. Sees the expansion. The Phoenix is already there doing damage, but here comes Harstem's Phoenixes. Has to be careful. Cannot engage over those Stalkers or he will lose everything. This is a tough position for Harstem to be in now. 400 minerals sunk into an expansion, whereas RotterdaM has used those for units. Has to pull probes and fight. Phoenixes engaging Phoenixes. This is so close, but the Stalkers are going to be helping out.
Oh, look at this! Both of them have 2 Phoenixes left. 1 Phoenix is left. RotterdaM is the one standing with the last Phoenix. Another one coming out of the Stargate for Harstem. RotterdaM reinforcing with more Stalkers. And I think at least this expansion will go down. Look at this! Harstem is chasing him with all of his probes. There's the GGWP. Nice response there by Rotti as he equalizes the series.
That is